Today, Wednesday, April 8th, 2015. Let's say the Pledge of Allegiance, everybody. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Amen. Amen. Sherry, would you swear everyone in, please?
Do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God? Thank you.
All right. See if anybody have any changes to the minutes from the last meeting?
No.
Good to me.
None here.
I'll move we accept the minutes from last meeting.
Second? All right, motion carries. How about the agenda? Any additions or deletions, staff?
Under item C, 1A, case 15 CE 550.
Melody, will you please?
Did you get that?
Unless she's got two.
You said C1.
Under C, 1A, case 15 CE 5508 is being removed.
Removed. All right.
Mine would be under 2, the request for board order. D, violator Matt Martise, 15 CE 5486. He has paid a citation and complied.
So we're going to eliminate that one as well.
Correct.
Any other changes? Okay. Move that we accept the agenda as changed.
Second.
Thank you. Motion carries. Okay, we're going to move on then to, looks like our first order is request for board orders. Case number 13-CE-3847. Thirta to Weesak.
This is a request for a board order for case number 13 CE 3847. The violator, Thurat Tawasuk, has weeds, grass, and undergrowth in excess of 12 inches at 1925 Fifth Avenue in Vero Beach. Service of the citation was provided by posting and is provided on file with the city clerk's office. Violation has been corrected as of February 28th, 2014, and the civil penalty of $50 assessed on the citation has not been paid. Prosecution costs of $32.50 are requested by the city, as are the city attorney fees of $59.15 for preparing a release of lien, $18.50 for the cost of recording the release of lien, and $18.50 for cost of recording the order to correct violations, impose continuing civil penalties, and pay civil penalties and costs. We request the board issue a board order stopping continuing penalties as of February 27th, along with assessing an initial civil penalty of $50 and a continuing penalty of $12,900 approximately, and all other costs enumerated above, totaling an estimated $13,078.65.
Okay, earlier, Officer Ramsey, you said February 28th, 2014. I assume you meant 15, correct?
Correct.
Okay.
No, that's,
I don't know if I've got
let me just make sure we're
down right.
no 14.
It was 14?
It was 14?
Yeah, February
Case started in
2014.
Okay.
Wow.
Okay.
So the ending date needs to be 2014 as well? Okay.
And
The last board order was issued August of 2013.
All right, I'll make a motion.
please do. I'm confused.
I'll move that the board issue an order for payment, that there was violation. The violation is now in compliance as of February 28th, 2014. And the board issue an order for payment of the initial $50 civil penalty, the $50 a day continuing fines ceasing on February 27th, 2014, $32.50 cost of prosecution, $59.15.
It's just all the costs of recording and preparing releases.
And all the costs of recording and attorneys and Preparing.
Mm-hmm. And did we say continuing penalties that,
They ceased on the 27th.
didn't we have some that are still continuing though? No?
No.
Okay. Well, I'm going to second that motion. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Hearing none, motion carries. Thank you, sir. Moving on to case number 15-CE-5505. This is Hogar Community Reinvestment LLC.
This request is for a board order for case number 14 CE 5505, Hogar Community Reinvestments for cited for weeds, grass, and undergrowth in excess of 12 inches, unsecured and stagnant pool at 1455 28th Avenue, Vero Beach. Service of the citation was provided by certified mail and is provided on file with the city clerk's office. This violation has not been corrected in its entirety as of April 8th, 2015, and the civil penalty assessed on the citation has been paid. Enforcement costs of $59.12 are requested by the city. We request the board issue a board order for continuing penalties of $100 per day from 2/2/2015, in this case, along with assessing the cost of enforcement of $59.12. They have corrected, there was two-part violation here. It was the pool and the overgrowth. The pool has been taken care of, the overgrowth nobody's ever addressed.
So this would be an order to correct also.
Yes.
Okay, I make a motion that the penalty for the pool has been corrected and that the penalty ceased as of, I believe you said, April 8th, 2015, and that the cost of enforcement of $59.12 continue and stand, and that we have continuing penalties of $100 per day starting February 2nd, 2015, I believe you said? Okay. And also note that the overgrowth has not been corrected, and I make a motion we put forth an order so that to have that corrected.
Second.
It's a little bit around and around, but thank you.
You got that.
All in favor?
Aye.
And all opposed? Hearing none, motion carries. Case number 14-CE-4717, Macon Holdings.
This is a request for a board order for case 14 CE 4717. The violator, Macon Holdings, care of Kenny Holmes, was cited for multiple violations of the Standard Housing Code at 1555 14th Avenue, unit number 117 in Vero Beach. Service of the citation was provided by posting and certified mail and is provided on file with the city clerk's office. The violation has been corrected as of February 27th, 2015, and the civil penalty assessed on the citation has not been paid. The enforcement costs of $47.28 are requested by the city. An affidavit of these costs have been filed with the board clerk. We request the board issue a board order stopping continuing penalty as of February 27, 2015, along with assessing an initial civil penalty of $50 and the cost of enforcement of $47.28.
I'd like to make a motion this time.
My turn?
It's your turn.
All right, I'll make a motion. I'll move that there was a violation, and the violation has been corrected, with the correction date being February 27th, 2015, and that the running continuing penalties stop as of that date. And we also issue an order for payment of the initial $50 civil fine and include cost of prosecution of $47.28.
And the continuing penalties through to the date of correction?
Through the 27th, yeah.
Okay.
February 27th?
Okay, I missed it.
Okay, I'll second that motion. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Hearing none, motion carries. Okay, we're going to go on to administrative matters then. This is case number 14-CE-5210, Mary Itak.
Mary is, Miss Itak is the person who came before you last month regarding the vehicle in her yard that her son was living in. And that vehicle has been removed, and it was removed on time. per the request that you guys had made, and she's in compliance. She's paid her citation, and the vehicle's gone.
Okay. And what part did the city manager play in this, Mr. Commit? Didn't we have, wasn't he a function of?
Yeah, Tom assisted, and he basically found a public nuisance, and
We did an abatement
did
process, and they responded to it.
And so in essence, we can actually completely take this off the table at this time.
Yeah, there's no
Correct.
action the board
There's
needs to
nothing more to
take
do.
because
No
the
penalties.
penalty was paid.
We never
and-
even actually had to abate it before it got to that date. He surrendered it and got money for it.
Great. That's good.
So basically, they're in compliance now.
They are.
Great.
Okay. And we have no orders to make on that. Okay.
No.
Terrific. I'm glad that worked out. Anyone else have anything they want to mention before we go?
I would like to mention
Yes, sir.
something, unless the board has something else first. If not, what we're considering, and we'll probably be bringing to you some amendments to the code enforcement ordinance. In a nutshell, the major thing is basically eliminating the notices of assessment. In other words, what would happen, and this really only applies to continuing penalties where some correction needs to be made to stop the penalty, to stop the violation. The process now, as you know, is the officers issue a citation. If they don't correct it, they come to the board. The board authorizes a notice of assessment of continuing penalties that runs, and it gives them another bite at the apple, basically. It gives the violator another chance to correct the violation. They basically have 10 days once a notice of assessment is served on them. They can, of course, appeal that, just like they could have appealed the citation, but at that point they've already admitted if they haven't asked for a hearing. So this is only ones that it's a continuing violation. They haven't asked for a hearing on the citation, therefore they've admitted. The board would normally issue a notice of assessment, and then a month later it comes back. If they still don't comply and correct the violation, then it comes back for the initial board order to correct. What dropping the notice of assessment does is speed up the process by a month. And we originally adopted that process because we're using Miami-Dade County's code as a model, because that one in particular had been found constitutional, had been challenged, and was upheld by the courts. So I don't really see an issue with that we have to have that step. Because if you look at Chapter 162, it's more of a process of come to the board when they haven't complied and have a hearing. So basically we'd be doing the same thing, except it's through the citation process, which has been adopted and that we use. So in that case, what would happen is that a violator is given a citation. If they fail to correct by the time that the officer has given them the reasonable amount of time to correct the violation, or if they haven't at least corrected it by the time the agenda is put together or before the hearing, and again, there's some discretion with the officer whether or not to still keep it on the agenda. If they still haven't corrected and they haven't asked for a hearing, the next step would then be what you just did on one or two of these cases, whereas the board hears that it hasn't been corrected, you just issue that order to correct, and you impose those continuing penalties, just like the notice of assessment would have done. So it just speeds up the process a month, plus it skips that one administrative step.
So it's going to save us both time and money, is what I'm hearing.
Well, it saves basically time in the enforcement process. And that was one of the reasons that the City Council originally adopted our own code enforcement process anyway, because that was to speed it up. Because the old process under 162, for one, I know Craig probably remembers, usually the officers had to come in and ask for a hearing, then it's scheduled for the next month, and then they're given a notice to come in. So the citation process sped that up by just saying, here's your citation. If you want a hearing, you got to ask for it. It puts the onus on them to ask for the hearing. And if they don't, within the 10 days, they waive it and they've admitted the violation. If they pay, that's an admission of the violation. But the key is this is for those that don't get corrected by the date given, and the officer wants to come in and get an order for them to correct and to impose those penalties. So that's what we're proposing to bring back and take to the city council, unless any of you see an issue with it, or I think it.
I like the idea.
Yeah, it just, again, and I know the officers, I think, like it. So, and the clerk
Sanderson,
likes it because she doesn't
you
have to
like
do
it?
a notice of assessment. Yeah, and it still gives them that opportunity. It really still gives them, when instead of 3 bites of the apple, they're getting just 2.
Mm-hmm.
They're getting the initial, and really by the time it comes to the board, they either should have corrected it or they should appear, and
I agree.
if they want to ask
Right.
for more time or whatever, they can. But it's by that point, it's the whole point is to try to encourage enforcement to compliance with the code. And we didn't really see any from the legal standpoint of why we couldn't eliminate that step.
Yeah.
So
I think that's a good idea. Mm-hmm.
all right, we'll bring that back to you and consider it hopefully next month.
Great. Good. Thank you. Anyone else? Anything? Nope. All right. Well, the meeting is adjourned. Thank you.